So Trump absolutely could not help himself, and he had to go full douchebag when it came to Kamala Harris. So take a look at this. Trump cancels Kamala Harris's Secret Service detail that was extended by an undisclosed Biden order. So I'm going to give you the backstory here in just a second, because at face value, you might say, okay, well, maybe it's fair at this point, right, to get rid of the Secret Service protection. But here's the thing, and here's what Trump knows. Kamala Harris just released a book. For that book, she's about to go on tour. So she's going to do public events. So she's going to be more in the public eye and more in front of the public, period, than she's been in a very long time. Right as soon as she's about to do that, that's when he decides, let's go ahead and cancel her Secret Service. So here's what they say in CNN. President Trump revoked Kamala Harris' Secret Service protection on Thursday, according to a copy of a letter reviewed by CNN. Former presidents receive Secret Service protections for life. Harris, as a former vice president, received 6 months of protection after leaving office, according to federal law. That period ended on July 21st. However, her protection had been extended for an additional year via a directive, not made public until now, signed by then-President Joe Biden shortly before leaving office, according to multiple people familiar with the undisclosed arrangement. That is the order Trump canceled in his letter titled Memorandum for the Secretary of Homeland Security and dated Thursday. And then it says, you hereby authorize discontinue security-related procedures, blah, 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 for Kamala Harris. The order to remove Harris's detail came from the White House. One official with the Secret Service told CNN. The decision was not part of a security review or new threat assessment, the source said. Leadership within the agency did not flag any security concerns or push back from the White House's order, the official said, who noted that Harris's detail would range from a dozen to a few dozen agents depending on her schedule and shift changes for 24-hour security. Trump's ending of Harris's protection comes as she soon embarks on a multi-city, high-profile book tour around the release of 107 Days, her new memoir, on her short presidential campaign, set to be released September 23rd. That will put her more in the public spotlight than she has been since leaving office, during which time she's only attended a few public events. Quote, the vice president is grateful to United States Secret Service for their professionalism, dedication, and unwavering commitment to safety. Blah, blah, blah. So here's the thing that people need to realize. Trump has been destroying this country for, 7-8 months now? And Kamala Harris has been basically in hiding. She hasn't said much publicly. And a lot of people criticize her for that. And I think it's correct to criticize her for that, because if you truly were in this fight and you truly cared about this country and you truly wanted to be a leader moving forward, you should be in front of every fucking camera you possibly can be in front of, calling out this fascist atrocity that we're witnessing. So in other words, Kamala Harris has played softball. She's played nice. She has not been calling out Trump. And this is how Trump repays her. This is how Trump repays her. So what did you learn? What does this prove to you yet again? If the fascist is going to do the fascist shit anyway, why would you give them an inch? Don't give them an inch. They're going to take a mile. They're going to try to take a mile no matter what. You might as well fight back. You might as well be vocal. You might as well be direct. You might as well call a spade and tell the truth. But no, Kamala hasn't said shit about the detailed plans to now finish the genocide and ethnic cleansing in Gaza and build luxury resorts. She hasn't said shit about the illegal bombing and attacking of Iran. She hasn't said shit about the plans to attack Mexico or the 7 warships and the 4,500 troops just sent to Venezuela. She hasn't said shit about the inflation and the unemployment skyrocketing or the massive trade war that Trump launched. She hasn't said shit about any of that. None of that. And so here we are. You were quiet, you played nice, and this is how he repaid you. Presidents and presidential candidates face frequent security threats. There were 2 assassination attempts against Trump during his run for president. Harris, according to people familiar with her security operations, faced particular security concerns given that she was the first woman and first black woman in the role. Those concerns only increased after she became the nominee, the people familiar with her security operation told CNN, and was still at a high level into January following her campaign, with feelings about the election still raw. A Biden spokesperson declined to comment on what led to his signing the order extending Harris's protection. But what will now disappear is not just the agents assigned to guard her in person 24/7. Secret Service protection includes constant analysis of threat intelligence and covering in-person situations, emails, texts, and social media. With her detail canceled, Harris aides are worried that they will lose the same access to threat warnings. The people familiar with her security operation said her home in the middle of Los Angeles will also stop being protected by federal agents. The cost of mounting Any similar level of protection privately would be expensive, possibly going into the millions and millions of dollars annually. Harris's husband, Doug Emhoff, lost his own personal detail on July 21st under the standard provisions for a former vice president's spouse. California Democratic Governor Gavin Newsom was briefed on Harris losing her protection late Thursday. Persons familiar with the discussions told CNN that the governor's office could not comment on security arrangements or methods which may be activated as a replacement. However, Newsom's spokesperson, Bob Saladay, expressed outrage about Trump making the change. The safety of our public officials should never be the subject to erratic, vindictive political impulses. Harris, as a Los Angeles resident, could also receive protection from the city police department. Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass and Newsom were in touch Thursday evening about the situation. This is another act of revenge following a long list of political retaliation in the form of firings, the revoking of security clearances, and more. This puts the former vice president in danger, and I look forward to working with the governor to make sure Vice President Harris is safe in Los Angeles. Bass told. Okay, there you go. It's just kind of amazing to me that what did Kamala do after Trump took the White House again? She didn't say anything. She sort of played nice, went into the background. She was criticized for that by people on the left, I think correctly so. And even though she basically acted ideally as Trump would want her to act, right? He still does this. Why? Because fuck her, that's why. He's a petty, little, vindictive, narcissistic freak bitch. And she needs to realize this is who he always has been. So why are you playing it safe if he's going to disrespect you every step of the way anyway? Why are you playing it safe? Why are you hiding? If you actually give a shit about the way he's destroying this country, speak up. Speak up and speak out. Because, you let him run wild and he will destroy everything. He will burn everything down. And he is just getting started, assuming he survives long enough to see it all to completion. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.